Hello, hi, y'all. It is Monday, ruled by the moon, the 21st of September. Uh, it is 29 degrees and 5 minutes Virgo. Hold on, let me try something. Apparently, this phone is not connecting well to the internet, so that's always fun. So, yeah, 29 degrees, 5 minutes Virgo. We're about to be in Libra season. It's the equinox. I don't know exactly when, but we're not that far away. I think tomorrow is the equinox technically, but 21st of September is a root chakra day. So if you're going to be getting into your chakra meditations, be doing the Muladhara chakra, root chakra. I know I personally need that today. Feeling it. So it's a yellow resonant warrior day. Today is a galactic activation portal day. Today is yellow resonant warrior guided by elegance. So try to tap into your root chakra and do the things, right? Hopefully all are doing well. If this gets choppy, which it's doing now, trying to reconnect. Let me see something really quick. Hold on. 10 seconds. If I go like this, I'll try something, but I don't know if this will matter. Alright, so hopefully that solved that problem. Nope. Poor wireless connection, it's saying. It looks all choppy. So I was hacking the system by doing two devices, and it looks like that might not be possible right now. So let's go ahead and pull a card for today. Last moments of Virgo season. The moon is in Scorpio. I'm personally feeling that really intensely right now. It's at 27 degrees. Mercury's at Libra, Venus in Leo, Mars in Aries. We've got the King of Pentacles. So we know we can win this. Virgo is Earth, Pentacles is Earth, and this is the King. This is like the final moments of the Earth stationing in Virgo. So let's or being stationed in Virgo. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. My mind is everywhere with these technical glitches. Hopefully I'm making sense. We're about to enter Libra season, so let's talk a little about the last moments of Virgo season with an Earth card, shall we? King of Pentacles, the earthy part of Earth. This is about grounding and embodying practicality, materiality, sensuality, right? And also aesthetic, like values. Stable and tenacious, Haley, right? It doesn't feel like that to me. Sometimes a workaholic, refined aesthetic, and commitment to the path you are on. Respect and value the items in your charge. This is about being a good steward, right? I have mastered the art of success. This King of Pentacles has command of immense wealth and luxury for all to see, but he is not the typical empire builder. There are no glittering palaces and great monuments erected in his name. Rather, he seeks to transmit a love of life, nature, and all its wild majesty. So he employs his resources to enable future generations to take pleasure in it. The gold nuggets and golden symbols surrounding him show the riches gained when difficulties are overcome. Heard. The diligence and fortitude required to recover from setbacks and conquer. He understands the more you prune back a tree, removing diseased, broken branches, thinning the crown, and increasing airflow by allowing only one dominant branch to grow, it enables the tree to create a strong, resilient structure capable of weathering the storms of life. His love of trees and natural materials, combined with a strong, refined aesthetic, is experienced at his home, an eclectic showcase for the very best in local craftsmanship. It appears well designed, bright, comfortable, lavish, and steeped in history. As an avid collector of art and antiquities, he appreciates the workmanship, knowledge, and skill passed down from father to son through the ages. His beloved throne from ancient Persia, the carved stone bowl of Persepolis, expresses his strength. Underneath the flamboyant Frank Zappa exterior lies a strong, powerful, hard-working dynamo. Some say he's paid a heavy price for success. A workaholic, he was often absent during his children's formative years. Nevertheless, he always provided a stable, loving home. His children have received an excellent, if unconventional, education. Centered around the home, these lessons focused on the importance of nutrition and keeping the body active while attending to the balance and beauty of one's immediate environment, nurturing both the physical body and the body of Earth. He knows insecurity comes from the fear of collapse, the collapse of a situation, a business, a relationship, your life. He's also fond of saying money doesn't grow on trees, and he has endeavored to teach the value and responsibility of really caring for things rather than treating them as disposable or replaceable. All resources are precious. Generous with both his time and money in these mature years, he's keen for his children to follow in his footsteps. He also mentors young creatives and entrepreneurs eager for success, encouraging them to have a clear vision and a coherent strategy for the long-term goal. Think success, act success. Keep that vision grounded and alive, consistently working hard, persistently moving forward every single day, no matter what. King of Pentacles, earthy part of Earth. Stable and tenacious, sometimes a workaholic, refined aesthetic, commitment to the path you are on, and respecting and valuing the items in your charge. With the sun in Virgo, the last moments, and the moon in Scorpio, we have this ability to powerfully, Scorpio moon, break through maybe blockages and do it for our health. Like this might be a very weird, for me, it's a very weird moment. This has been a weird morning where I'm feeling a lot of stress from things I probably suppressed. And I'm feeling it. Haley knows. She would, it is a cool shirt. I got this from Target a long time ago. Maybe they still sell this kind of shit. But anyway, yeah, the King of Pentacles is about being a steward, essentially, of what you've got in front of you. And maybe that looks different to everybody. Hit me up for a reading on your chart. I could kind of explain what's going on. But, yeah, we're in the final moments of Virgo season, and we have to kind of finish strong, earthy part of Earth, and win, essentially, in our bodies, in our health, in our mind, in our practical reality. This isn't about fantasizing and stuff, and maybe that's where the conflict is occurring. Somewhere between the Scorpio moon being like obsessing and fantasizing emotionally about things, where the Virgo moon sun is like, yo, like, what do you have in front of you and how are you taking care of it actually, right? So we've got the Three of Water in the Dreams of Gaia cards. Let me just find what that would be. Three of Water, 272. Exactly last year, this time I was hanging out with Adam Bigdilly in at the Haystacks out in the ocean in Portland, off the coast of Oregon. It was really beautiful. Smoking DMT and stuff. And this year is very different. COVID, not on psychedelics right now, etc. Three of Waters: satisfaction, pleasure, joy, hopefulness, anticipation, attachment, expectation, and disappointment. Key phrase is celebrate your victories, take satisfaction from your endeavors, look to the future with anticipation. Your success will continue, a rewarding outcome, an exciting future. Free yourself of unrealistic expectations and allow the outcome to manifest freely. The Three of Water represents satisfaction and indicates you have come to a time to rejoice in life and your success. She stands tall and confident, with arms raised in victorious celebration. She has invested greatly in her creative endeavors and is well satisfied with her progress and accomplishments so far. She is positive and hopeful that her success will continue, and so she turns to greet the future with anticipation and excitement. This card is a positive affirmation and symbolizes the joyous potential for a rewarding outcome. It also signifies the importance of taking time to appreciate and celebrate and enjoy yourself along the way. Look back and be proud of what you have accomplished. Do a little victory dance before turning once more to the future with a heart full of hope and a smile upon your lips. It is important to allow yourself these moments of joy and celebration and to remember them, right? So hip, hip, hooray. 3 cheers for getting through Virgo season. And also, we're building an empire. Our lives are our empire. Our lives are the manifestation of who we are. And in a sense, we want to hold on loosely to that in a Buddhist sense. Like, don't overly identify with stuff, right? You don't want to just be like, if I don't build a Death Star, this is my Darth Vader obsidian head. If I don't build a Death Star, I'm nothing. Oh my gosh. But at the same time, this is like, build your Death Star. And your life is your Death Star. I know that's a weird analogy. And this is kind of taking a moment to both celebrate where you've come from, even if it's been difficult, and look forward to the challenges and hopes of the future, right, in an optimistic way. I need to remember this today. I'm having a bad day, we could say. And it wasn't all bad, but it's been a rough morning already, and it's not even that late. I just stressed, and most of my coping mechanisms for stress I don't do anymore. So I guess I can go, bike ride really intensely for a while or something, work out a sweat, but I have a lot of Taurus energy, so I tend to be lazy too. Double Gemini life. Pushing the envelope, 17, right? We're pushing the envelope on the Libra season here. We're getting into it. Or I guess we could say we're pushing the envelope on Virgo season in that it's at its last moments. It's declination. Wow, I'm just going to have to deal with these cards when I'm done. All right, so pushing the envelope, 17. Lyra timeline. Pushing the envelope, present timeline. Lyra. A Lyran trait that humans share is the need to push the envelope, to force ourselves to go beyond limitations. This is what drove them and us to always grow more. That's how you become a king, right, of Pentacles. How do you acquire more and be a steward of it and celebrate the little things like, oh, we're not bankrupt, and oh my gosh, all these little things. Oh my gosh, I didn't sell my goods for drugs or whatever. You push the envelope in a positive sense, right? This is what drove them and us to always grow more beyond the laws of physics, beyond current technology, and beyond physical endurance. This can be a good quality when a breakthrough is desperately needed. Heard. However, this trait can become obsessive, where my South Node in Scorpio plays into this a little, it feels. This trait can become obsessive and cause us to never rest. That's the King of Pentacles who was saying possibly a workaholic, not resting, trying to build, and be like, oh, I'm not happy with what's in my bank account. I want more. The world is not enough. Right? This can be a good quality when a breakthrough is desperately needed. However, this trait could become obsessive and cause us to never rest and always push ourselves to exhaustion. This most likely has been a karmic pattern of yours in many lifetimes. Now it is time to let go. Your self-care is more important than pushing the envelope, right? So like taking care of yourself and even celebrating and taking a moment to have a chill pill and just, raise a toast or whatever and be like, oh, I'm there, I'm making it happen, is more important than just getting the next project on. This theme refers to the human and Lyran tendency to become single-minded and sometimes ego-driven, pushing ourselves beyond our limits in order to accomplish a goal. Very King of Pentacles, right? Very Scorpio moon energy also. While this can, at times, be an admirable quality, it can also severely hamper our evolution and keep us stuck in actions driven by ego. When we are stuck in these ego-driven tendencies, it becomes impossible to connect with our higher nature and evolve beyond the limitations of ego. On the other hand, this card may be giving you a message to push yourself harder when you are afraid, thus acting as encouragement for you. Do you tend to give up on your goals easily? If so, this card may be encouraging you to focus, trust, and keep going. It may also be giving you a message that you can learn and grow quite a bit from going beyond your perceived limitations. Only by looking at the surrounding cards as well as looking honestly within yourself can you ascertain the meaning of this enigmatic card and apply it to your life. This was a major lesson for the Lyrans during this phase of their life development. When to push harder and when to let go. Ultimately, with Mercury in Libra, and we're about to enter Libra season, it's about balance. It's about which side of the scales, both. But it's like play, work. Like you don't want to work so hard that you never play, and you don't want to play so hard that you never work. That could be problematic, right? This was a major lesson for the Lyrans during this phase of their development. When to push hard and when to let go. Ultimately, when faced with the species evolution, it is a delicate balance. We're about to enter Libra season. More balance illusions. Eventually, however, consciousness transcendence happens at the point of surrender. This is a lesson Earth humans are currently facing on the personal and planetary levels. And with the moon in the last stages of Scorpio, it's hard. Control and obsession is really what Scorpio can be about in a shadow sense. So it's like surrender isn't what Scorpio moon is about, and that's where the moon is in Scorpio right now. With Virgo, it can be very perfecting, and we're in the last degrees of both. So it's very intense perfectionism, and it's very intense maybe emotional control stuff, right? So we're about to enter Virgo season. Try to keep crushing this guy, the King of Pentacles, right? The highest masculine earthy part of Earth. Didn't get to where he's at by happenstance. He worked diligently. He was a steward of his resources, steward with his time. Maybe a little Captain Von Trapp style, where he took it too seriously and he neglected his kids. But hey, they have a nice home and nice uniforms, I guess. There's always silver linings even to our mistakes. Try to take a moment with the Three of Water to celebrate what you've accomplished. Don't just be so gung-ho that you're like, oh my gosh, I have to get more. The world is not enough, right? It's like, hey, and I'm guilty of this. There's 10 leagues in Duolingo on the language. I'm doing Japanese, and I've gotten first place in every league except the last one. I'm in the Diamond League now, and I'm leading that league. But it's like my ego is like, I've got to win, and it's meaningless. Ultimately, it's a competition, but I don't have a whole lot else stimulating me right now. So try not to be so obsessed and gung ho about things that you don't enjoy where you come from, and you look forward optimistically instead of like stressfully, right? Pushing the envelope. Maybe we're pushing too hard, and we have to just take a day off. Like the whole point of Libra season is like the harvest, right? Like, oh my gosh, these things have been growing, 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 and now it's time to reap what we've sown, right? So let's get an animal oracle card and some other cards, and I'm gonna jam on my electric today. We got Bison Ritual. I hope we all have something going on. I mean, last year this time I was smoking DMT and going to the beach and stuff for the equinox. Maybe something for this equinox tomorrow, tonight, whenever it is officially. You have a ritual, right? That's healthy for you. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But this is with Libra season coming on very shortly. We have the ability to powerfully, Scorpio moon, enter into celebration, that three of water, over the work we've been putting into life at the end of a Virgo season, King of Pentacles. We've been pushing the envelope on evolution. I mean, it's always where it needs to be, but it's been really strong growth spurts lately. I know I've felt it. I'm sure y'all have too. So let's try to ritualize it and remember it. That's the whole point of Passover and stuff. It's like, this was a big deal. Let's remember this. Or, the point of a birthday, I guess, in a way, or Christmas, or any holiday that is celebrated is a ritual. And even beyond just celebrations of holiday, it's like, the ritual. I'm going to keep going here. Bison, ritual. Live with authenticity and peace. Do not live how other people wish you to live. Your life is yours. Bringing peace of ritual into our lives can heal us. Nourish yourself and develop habits that are beneficial and useful for you and your family. The last degrees of Virgo here with the sun. Health. Like, what are nourishing and healthy rituals? Like, going to the bar every day and blacking out drinking, probably not a good ritual, right? So, though it could be a ritual of yours, I know I used to partake in that ritual myself. So, Mythos, the chief of the Lakota tribe, was trying to lead his people through a time of great famine. The buffalo had deserted them, and no rain had fallen. He decided to send out 2 strong scouts to look for food. As they traveled through difficult country, they found little, but they kept going. Persistence, right? Pushing the envelope, which has a good thing. They're like, oh my gosh, we can't find food. We have to push the envelope. As they walked, they saw a lovely woman dressed in shining white upon the horizon. And I will say their security depended on it. Root chakra day, right? So it's like they needed to go survive and find new shit. Like, they didn't have resources where they were, so they were having to explore and find new resources. One of the scouts immediately lusted after the woman and shared with his companion that if she was as beautiful up close as she looked from afar, he would seize her as his wife. The other scout, talk about pushing the envelope, it's like date rape, I guess. The other scout saw beyond any desire and thought the woman looked otherworldly and perhaps was a sacred being. He shared his opinion with his friend and warned him against offending the young woman. It was soon clear that the first scout would take nothing of the second scout's advice. The first scout tried to hug and kiss the woman, some Scorpio moon stuff. Like, come here, get over here. The first scout tried to hug and kiss the woman, and quickly a thick white fog enveloped the two of them. Soon the cloud dispersed and only the woman remained. The second scout became terrified and drew his bow in defense. However, the young woman soothed him in his own language and told him there was nothing to fear. As she allowed him to step closer, he saw the dry bones of his more impertinent companion. Very Scorpio moon. Again, and Virgo sun, it's like, what, are you being practical? Are you being healthy? Are you crossing boundaries? Be careful. Again, the scout became afraid and drew his bow. And again, the woman called him and explained that she was divine, Wakan, and she could not be harmed by his bow. She introduced herself as Tessin Wee, White Buffalo Calf, and assured him that if the Lakota did all that she asked, they would have a better, more prosperous, and more peaceful life. White Buffalo, this is some Mercury and Libra stuff. It's like, hey, I'll help you if you help me. And he tried to come at me too fast, so I killed him, and I won't do that to you. You have nothing to fear, right? White Buffalo Calf taught the Lakotas the right way to live and worship. Virgo sun, last degrees. It's like, what is the correct way? What is the right way, right? What is the King of Pentacles is like a steward of correctness in a sense. It's like, this is the way, embodied. White Buffalo Calf taught the Lakotas the right way to live and worship. She was also responsible for introducing the sacred pipe, or the chanunpa, and the profound ritual that accompanied it. Animal. There are 2 kinds of bison, also known as buffalo, left on Earth, the American bison and the European bison, and they are herd animals. The American bison is native to North America with a huge range that once extended right across America and into Mexico. We actually have bison nearby here, Colorado. They were a plentiful and key animal for the indigenous peoples, gifting them fur, pelt, bones, and meat. Very practical, Virgo sun. And it was a mutual relationship. We're about to enter, Libra season. It's like, hey, we got things you need, and as long as you kill us rightly, which we'll talk about, will not haunt you, basically. These indigenous societies, particularly the Great Plains First Nations, moved seasonally according to where the bison would roam, so meat would be readily available even in extreme conditions. Bison were hunted close to extinction during the 19th and 20th centuries by white settlers. This massive slaughter was most often for pelts, since their bodies were simply left on the plains to rot rather than being used honorably. There's also solid evidence that indicates there was a colonial strategy to kill as many bison as possible to inflict ongoing damage to the Indian people who relied so heavily upon these animals. If you take out their supplies, it's hard for them to live well, or at all. Happily, the bison is making a comeback both in Europe and in the U.S., and the herds are protected in places such as Yellowstone Park. Bison are very stoic animals, able to withstand extreme cold and heat. They have thick fur and huge heads, which swings from side to side to clear snow so they can get at the grass underneath. American bison range from 2 meters to 3.5 meters in height. Although they look slow and ungainly, they are not, and capable of running at 65 kilometers an hour and jumping 1 meter. Their babies are born with a distinctive red hue in spring and are referred to as red dogs. Magic. The magic of the bison is an ancient one that asks us to put aside the everyday and connect in with the natural world and that of the spirits. The natural world of Virgo sun last degrees, and that of the spirits last degrees of moon in Scorpio. Having everyday rituals is an important touchstone for mental and spiritual help. Keeping to good and positive ritual and habits for ourselves is something with which the bison can help us. And even today, Haley can attest, it's like, let's just push through and do our habit, which is reading Gene Keys, pulling some cards. I have my tea in the morning to wake up and stuff like that's a good habit, even if it's not, even if the mood isn't always there, it's good to do. Symbology: horns, milk, humped back woman dressed in white buffalo skin. Status is near threatened and vulnerable. So there's not a whole lot of them, and we can do better to keep them, from dissipating into extinction. We've got Joseph Buys. You can't make this shit up. This is some Scorpio moon energy, is it not? Joseph Buys. There's a dead rabbit. There's an extremely powerful animal being aggressive. Scorpio. This even looks like a Scorpio tail a little, with the crook in the cane or whatever that is. So, Joseph Buys. Where are you at, Joseph? I think he's one of the more recent ones. I might be wrong. Where are you at? Okay, so, nope, he died in the 80s. So, Joseph Buys. Bays, maybe how to say it. Joseph, Beuy's, as you can see, claimed that as a World War II fighter bomber, he crashed in the Crimean Mountains where nomadic Tartars, interesting, relating to Tartary possibly, covered his freezing body in animal fat and felt, what would become his trademark materials. How Virgo sun. It's like, we're going to practically save you through what? Extreme measures and very graphic death-related measures, moon and Scorpio. Super resonant. Bays made fabricating personal history into an art form and believed that each person is an artist contributing to humanity's Gesamtwerk, total work of art. By the 1970s, his unorthodox approach to academics and shamanistic overtures won him dismissal from his professorship and a punch in the face from a student. An ambulance was not called until 1974, however, when it took Bays to inhabit a room with a wild coyote for the permanent performance work, I Like America and America Likes Me. Sounds like an extreme kind of personality. Interesting. So, make sure your rabies shots are up to date is the advice we're getting from Mr. Joseph Bays, right? When we're kind of going through life, we have to be bringing, especially the last degrees of the Virgo sun and the Virgo season, let's bring perfection, and like with making sure your rabies shots are up to date, there's a way to healthfully and healthily go through life practically, right? We want to be thankful for where we are and looking forward to new opportunities with a hopeful way. We don't want to be getting bit by animals and getting rabies kind of thing, right? You want to push the envelope in your own evolution, but not so much that you burn out. You want to acquire and succeed, but you don't want to do it to the point where you're neglecting relationships or single-minded and focused and obsessed, right? Pushing the envelope and making it an obsession. You want to kind of take every moment as it comes and be grateful for it. And I'm talking to myself just as much as anybody, right? The King of Pentacles is saying we're acquiring much and we're doing good as stewards of this stuff, to celebrate that, but not to get cocky, as Han Solo of the Millennium Falcon would say. Don't get cocky, kid. It's like, hey, you're kicking ass, but that doesn't mean you're done, right? Even though the King of Pentacles is the highest pentacle, in that sense, it is complete, and we're at the end of Virgo season. There's a completion here. Let's not think the journey continues. The spiral continues ever onward, and we can look hopefully into that future, as long as we're aware of basically the level of tenacity that's necessary at any point between the tension of complete freedom and complete, single-mindedness or whatever. Bring ritual into it. That helps. That helps the human mind focus. That helps bring significance and meaning into the mundane, into the reality. It's like, there's a pretty tree, but every whatever fall equinox he goes and carves his name or a notch in the tree, which I wouldn't suggest. But that creates that tree more meaning. It gives it more depth. Bring ritual to your practice, right? Bring magic, Scorpio moon, into your Virgo sun, practical reality. That's how you do this thing differently and well. Make sure your rabies shots are up to date. So make sure you're kind of doing the things that are necessary in practical reality, paying your taxes, right? You don't want the government coming after you. Also, maintaining relationships well, keeping your temple tip top. That doesn't mean, going so hard in the paint that you never have a day off. Work hard and play hard. Celebrate well, but make sure you're not pushing the envelope too hard in one direction or the other. Don't be such a hedonist that you never fucking have a sober day in your life, but don't be such a stringent ascetic that you never partake in the ritual of life in a meaningful way outside of asceticism. Like, you don't want to be extreme. And with the last degrees of Scorpio moon, we can be very extreme emotionally right now. So make sure our shots on our rabies are up to date. It's saying, I think that's just being like, be practical. You can avoid death sometimes by simple choices, right? Kind of energy there. We've got Tiger Eye. Actually, I've got a bunch of Tiger Eye right in front of me. This is a Gemini stone. I found a Tiger Eye necklace. I literally have, I'm not going to show you, but it's like 20 of these little beads of Tiger Eye. Somebody broke a necklace at the skate park and I found it. And then I've got these little 2 chunks of Tiger Eye. Got quite a bit. So, Tiger's Eye. Got the eye of the tiger. What it is, Tiger Eye is a golden brown quartz displaying a light reflecting optical phenomenon known as chadiance, or cat's eye, that appears just below the stone's surface. Who needs it? The currently overthinking and mood swinging Geminis and Virgos. My fiance's a Virgo, I'm a Gemini. Mood swings and overthinking sounds like my day this morning already. Where to put it? In a string of prayer beads. That's funny because these are literally, I could make a prayer bead string necklace out of this if I wanted to. I should probably. Hanging from your middle finger, counting during meditation along with your blessings. Right? And that is what we've got with the 3 of water. Counting your blessings. Being appreciative of what? All that you have. Making a ritual out of it. Making a prayer bead out of it, right? So, when to use it? When your thoughts are not your friends. Ooh, this resonates right now with where I was. When reading Jungian theories or attempting to decipher a Zen koan. When you're all roar and not enough purr. When you're all work and no play makes a jack dull boy. When you're working too hard at something and you're too serious, maybe it's just like, hey, take a chill pill, have a good day, like take a day off. Vacations are okay. They force vacations in some countries. When you're all roar and not enough purr. When only equanimity of mind, body, and spirit, left brain and right brain can get you square with the universe. Balance. We're about to enter Libra season. Talking about balancing, even that, right? Balance your whole being. It says. Perfect for the last moments of Virgo going into Libra with Mercury in Libra. It's mentioning balance. It's synchronistic there, right? So do take the time to work hard. What your life is a reflection of your internal processes. Everybody's on a kind of different trip. So some people are going to be monks. Some people are going to be billionaires. Some people are going to be artists. Some people are going to be businessmen or women. You see what I mean? Like, everybody's got their role to play, but do it well. You've been cast in the play. Don't give up. I know it can be hard. Break on through to the other side of that kind of feeling, because feelings come and go. They aren't facts all the time. And be a good steward of your situation, but also celebrate where you've come from. Maybe a way to be grateful for where you are is to think about where you've come from, right? Sometimes you have movies where there's like this tycoon and they're like, I used to shine shoes for 10 cents a day or whatever. And it's like, holy shit, now you're a billionaire. It's like, yeah, well, it took a lot of work and tenacity, and having that kind of retrospection, especially with the equinox where it's equal days and equal nights. We have a retrospection of maybe everything we've done since the beginning of this life season, spring equinox, summer, fall equinox, right? So like kind of just looking at the year as such, because we're about to enter winter where it's the death is the ritual at hand, right? That's what's happening. Pushing the envelope is 17 coming up with Lyra. Make sure you're not going so hard that you're a workaholic and you neglect like emotional needs. Three of water. But make sure you're not just sitting around in nostalgia and drinking to your health and not actually doing the work, right? There's a balance to be had. Ritual can make things more meaningful, so do apply rituals to your everyday life. It'll make it more magical in that sense. And then make sure your rabies shots are up to date. Make sure you're being practical in the world, so you can thrive and not just survive, right? And I know I need to hear this myself. Tiger's Eye is about balance your whole being, mind, body, soul. It's not just about having a good mental outlook and then being like, at anguish in your soul, or having, I'm exactly where I need to be in karma, and then being in denial mentally or physically about certain things. It's about having equanimity in all things. Perfect message for entering into Libra season. So let's go ahead and play some music. And it's going to be my electric guitar. You'd think I'd set this shit up beforehand. You'd think I'd know what I'm doing. But you'd think wrong, guess again. Oh my. I've got to do something different here. Bear with me. Technical difficulties of a kind. Alright, good enough. Alright, so let's go ahead and play some music to the last moments of Virgo season for the King of Pentacles to celebrate the fecundity and fullness of our material reality. We've done it. We've accomplished Vidi Vini Vici. But at the same time, don't get cocky, kid, right? Like, we still have work to do, and we still have more to transmute. The journey never ends, which can kind of get a little frustrating. Oh well. Where is... Oh, no. There we go. I was like, why isn't this making noise? Alright, so, King of Pentacles. So what we're doing is being full stewards of our reality, owning it, kicking ass. Let me turn this down a little. Kicking ass, taking names, right? Being bosses, but not taking it so seriously that we never have fun. Have a little fun, be nostalgic, be practically happy with where you've gone. Don't just push the envelope to push it, to push it, to push it. Like, celebrate where you've been. Enjoy what you have. You can't take it with you, right? Whether it's your status, or like economically, or like the things you have materially, or your relationships. Ultimately, it's the memories of how you interacted with these things that is what you take with you, I guess, if anything. So try to celebrate, try to have fun, do it responsibly. Don't push the envelope and having too much fun either, right? Try to make your fun rituals. That's what the whole point of holidays and celebrations are. Parties, wedding feasts, and stuff like that. It's like to make a ritual and to remember the moment as epitomized highly in a way that's beautiful, right? Aesthetically refined, valuable, right? And to make a memory, in a sense, that inspires us to make more memories in the future and to live beautiful and valuable lives, which they always are. But like, remembering that helps, because we tend to push the envelope. We tend to just go in the hard in the paint and never really appreciate and smell the roses where we're actually at. So try to make a ritual out of life, and it will remind you of the beauty of the moment that you're in. Make sure the rabies shots are up to date, as Baze is telling us. So bring, health, Virgo sun, into the practicality too. Like, don't just work so hard that you have a mental breakdown, right? Balance your whole being with Tiger's Eye. So this is about having a whole self that's in dynamic balance, right? This isn't stagnant balance and you just have to hold it still. If it goes this way, oh my gosh, it's like this, and it's actually multidimensional. So you're always in balance in some way. Try to be aware of maybe where you're out of balance, and that refinement can be the duty and honor of your life at some level. It's the privilege of being. So let's take a moment to look back as we look forward in the present moment, and try not to go too hard in the paint with asceticism and strictness, but also not with pleasure and frivolity. It's that middle path that we're looking for. Make a ritual out of your life. Try to embody the values that you esteem to, right? Be the change. Be the person in the dream that you want to see. That's the whole point, kind of the character you want to see. Take your rabies shots, be prepared for life. Don't just let life happen to you and then be like, well, whatever. It's like, meet it on its terms. That's what a boss king would do, a king of pentacles. It's like, oh, when there's riots in the streets, we deal with it. When there's flooding in the sewers, we deal with it. When my queen wants to make love, I do it. You know what I mean? Like, he's dealing with his kingdom in a very particular way. So try to meet things as they need to be met, right? Make sure your rabies shots are up to date. Make sure that you're in the present moment fully and not just in Fantasyland. Though it's okay to bring some fantasy and nostalgia into the picture as well, because we do tend to, life is happening all the time. It's go, 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 and maybe that stillness, whether it's meditation or celebration or however you want to look at it, create a ritual of stillness as well as a ritual of action. Make sure you're up to date on your rabies shots. Be appropriately meeting life as it hits you, and balance your whole being, because you are a multi-dimensional being, multifaceted being, and there's a lot more to you than your brain or just your emotions or just your incarnation physical meat suit. You got a whole plethora of options of being. So to try, especially as we enter this Libra season with this equinox, spring, equal nights, equal days, Libra season, to own that like a boss, own that like a king of pentacles. Hopefully you've had a good Virgo season. Let's celebrate what we've done and what we've made manifest, and keep pushing forward. If you want a reading, holler. Today we have a podcast with Andreas. We had a great podcast yesterday with somebody from Hollywood. His name is Joshua. I'm forgetting his last name right now, but really cool. He's an actor and into consciousness and stuff, so that's a good episode. I'll post in the comments. If you want a reading, like I said, a holler. That's always fun, and how I can be of service to you. It's fun for me, it's fun for you, and try to meet the day as it comes to you. I know emotions, as like speaking for personal experience, emotions can overwhelm, thoughts can overwhelm, the body can get cramped, our breath can be shallow, we can have expectations that don't be met, that aren't met, right? But this too shall pass, and we will be rewarded if we stick to it, and keep being stewards of our reality tunnel. Adios.